Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Do the Warriors have the roster to be champions this season? I am a passionate Warriors fan, but to be honest, I don't believe that with this roster they can make it to the NBA Finals. Next season, if they sign 2 more high-level players, they could be champions again. The Warriors are lacking in defense and size, and the offense is often overwhelmed by Stephen Curry. The Warriors are interested in signing top scorer Cameron Johnson. The Golden State Warriors' most recent 114-105 defeat at the hands of the Denver Nuggets snapped a 7-game winning streak and marked just their second loss in the Jimmy Butler era, dropping their record to 39-29. Stephen Curry was shadowed by a combination of rangy wing defenders all night long, forcing him to shoot just 28.5% from the three-point line on 14 attempts, while the Nuggets came away with a win in the absence of their 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic and star point guard Jamal Murray. Golden State shot just 24.2% from distance and a horrid 55.7% from the charity stripe as a collective, making it evident that their impressive shooting prowess cannot make consistent appearances. To improve their long-range struggles, recent reports have indicated that the Warriors' general manager Mike Dunleavy could swap their rising star forward Jonathan Kuminga in a stunning summer sign-and trade with the Brooklyn Nets to bring in a two-way forward with postseason experience, Cam Johnson. The most significant decision the team has to make this offseason concerns Kuminga, who is expected to be well compensated as a restricted free agent, Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus wrote Friday. The team can keep him depending on his price, which may raise payroll as high as the second apron. Instead, the Warriors could execute a sign-and trade to get value in return, with a second apron hard cap. The Warriors may have to further improve in core areas before they can truly call themselves title contenders, and Pincus suggests that Johnson should be a potential trade target for the franchise prior to 2025-26 to elevate the group to status as possible title favorites in the Western Conference. At 29 years old, the ex-Phoenix Suns forward has contributed 19.1 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.2 assists for the Nets on a remarkable 63.6% true shooting percentage. Johnson's 40.1% shooting clip from the outside and wonderful 88.8% efficiency at the free throw line could pique Golden State's interests this offseason, and the organization may decide to welcome the versatile forward aboard for 2025-26 and beyond. Dealing Kuminga at just 22 years old and after the conclusion of his third season would be a tough pill to swallow for the Warriors, but Johnson has proven to be a wildly impactful supporting player on contending teams that could change their rotation for the better, as evidenced by his role in the Suns' 2021 NBA Finals appearance. By hypothetically acquiring Johnson, it's plausible to believe that he could raise the potential of a franchise looking to capitalize on the remaining prime years of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green by winning yet another championship in the near future. The one obvious reason Butler and Curry are poised to be the NBA's nightmare. Teams won't want to play these guys in the playoffs. Ever since the trade deadline, the Golden State Warriors have looked completely different, and it's not hard to sniff out the reason why. Jimmy Butler has been a seamless fit alongside Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, and the Warriors have skyrocketed up the standings. Once in danger of missing out on the play-in entirely, the Warriors are now in range of earning home court advantage in the first round. But the Warriors could be so much more than that. It's only been 3 years since they were on top of the NBA world, and Curry is still playing at an extremely high level. And while Butler hasn't been putting up insane stats, his impact on winning cannot be denied. They've set themselves up beautifully for a nightmarish postseason. But the nightmare wouldn't be their own. Playing Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler in the playoffs is a nightmare for the rest of the NBA. Right now, Jonathan Kuminga is working his way back into the swing of things, Moses Moody looks great, and Quinton Post has found a nice role for himself, too. But this isn't about them. It's about the main guys. Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green. Those are the guys who could give the rest of the NBA nightmares once the playoffs roll around. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the clear-cut favorites to come out of the West this year, and rightfully so. They've been incredible this season. But outside of them, the conference is wide open. Curry and Butler have consistently stepped up in the playoffs. Whenever it's time for big games, big spots, and big shots, they show up. Look at the 4 championships Curry has won in Golden State. His dominance in the 2022 NBA Finals. Butler's run to the finals with the 2023 Heat. His 2 finals appearances during his time with the Miami Heat. Golden State has not won, but 2 of the best playoff performers the NBA has seen in the last decade. And they're gelling beautifully. Any team that has to play them in the postseason could be in for a rude awakening, and that includes the Thunder. Oklahoma City is built perfectly to compete with any team in the playoffs, and they should be one of the favorites to win a title. But they are relatively inexperienced in the playoffs. Running into a squad that employs 2 experienced playoff stars like Curry and Butler could make life hard on them. OKC would be favored, but it would be a nightmare matchup of all the options they could potentially face. The Warriors are built perfectly to be a disaster matchup for everyone else in the NBA. Warriors have a strong record since trading for Jimmy Butler. Just a few weeks ago, a lot of people had written the Golden State Warriors off and figured their season was over. Now they are the 6th seed in their conference and playing like true playoff contenders again. Jimmy Butler is a huge reason why things are going so well for the team, and they have been on a great run since he was traded. As noted by Legion Hoops, the Warriors are now 15-3 since trading for Butler. Meanwhile, the Miami Heat have gone 4-16. After all the drama, rumors, and speculation, it looks like Butler coming to the Warriors was a great move for the organization. Golden State's latest win was over the Milwaukee Bucks on Tuesday, when Butler posted 24 points and 10 assists. Since coming to the Warriors, he has averaged 17.2 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 6.1 assists. Those numbers are all better than what he was doing with the Heat before the highly controversial trade. Butler isn't the only reason the Warriors are doing well, but he has clearly added something special to his new team. And all of this is happening at the perfect time because the playoffs are just a few weeks away. There was a time when it looked like the Warriors would miss the postseason entirely, and now they hold the 6th seed and would bypass the play-in tournament entirely if it started today. The Warriors have to keep it up if they want to storm into the playoffs, which is no easy task. But they have looked very cohesive and strong lately, and their energy and chemistry are better. Butler is obviously a very welcome presence on the team, and they're happy he's there. Stephen Curry's 3-point record is safer than Draymond Green thinks, but one current player may have a shot. Curry could very well get to 5,000 career 3-pointers, and one current player might have a chance to join him. Just before Stephen Curry broke the NBA's career 3-point record in December of 2021, his longtime Warriors teammate and vociferous hype man Draymond Green took to his own podcast to declare that Curry's record would 100% be broken within 5 to 6 years of Curry's retirement. Reason being, Green began, Trae Young comes into the NBA attempting 6 or 7 3-pointers per game. Donovan Mitchell comes into the NBA attempting 6 or 7 3-pointers per game. Steph Curry came into the NBA attempting 2 to 3 per game because it's just a totally different ballgame, in large part due to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the ways those guys shot the basketball. It totally changed the way the game is played just by the way Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have been playing the game all this time. When I look back on the 10 years that I have been with the Warriors, most people, especially in the analytical department, didn't think Steph Curry shot enough threes. To this day, they still don't think Steph Curry shoots enough threes. That just goes to show you where the game is going and why his record will be broken probably within 5 to 6 years of, when he stops, playing the game. The foundation of Green's logic sounds solid. We all know everyone shoots a lot more threes now than they used to. In theory, a worse shooter could pass Curry on pure volume. But when you start actually doing the math, it's not such a slam dunk that Curry's record gets broken not just anytime soon, but ever. Before we go any further, let's try to guess what Curry's final 3-point tally will be when the curtain comes down on his career. Entering play on Thursday, he's made 4,008 of them. At his current pace of 4.4 makes per game, that would give him about 4,060 by season's end. Curry is 37 years old. His current contract runs through 2027, and he recently said he would like to outplay that deal when he will be 39. Just to put a round number on it, let's say Curry plays until he's 40, meaning 3 more years after this one. Even at 253s per season, which would be significantly fewer than he has averaged over his last 3 seasons, that would put him 4,800 in 2028. I'll tell you what, let's make it an even 5,000 to account for the very real possibility that Curry either plays more than 3 more years or makes more than 250 per year over that stretch. 5,000 3-pointers, people. Whoever is going to have even a chance at sniffing a number like that is going to have 2 avenues to doing so. Either he's going to have to blow Curry's pace out of the water early in his career, because good luck keeping up with Curry's pace after about year 6, or he's going to have to play about 25 seasons. Does anyone fit that mold right now? Let's just look at Green's 2 examples for argument's sake. Through the first 6 years of Trae Young's career, he only attempted 282 more 3-pointers than Curry did through the first 6 years of his career, and even that is only because Curry missed virtually his entire 3rd season. That isn't nearly a big enough volume advantage to cancel Curry's extreme efficiency edge, 44% to Young's 35%, which is why Curry made 132 more 3-pointers than Young through their first 6 seasons. And from there, obviously, it's not even close. Same story for Donovan Mitchell, who, as Green correctly said, has attempted over 8 threes per game through the first 8 years of his career. Want to know how many threes Curry attempted per game through his first 8 years? 7.6, so basically identical. Now calculate the difference in percentages: Mitchell's career 36% rate to Curry's 42%, and add in the next 8 years of Curry upping his volume to 11.5 threes per game without even a tiny decline in efficiency, and again, it's not even close. You're going to find this to be true of pretty much every so-called threat to Curry's record. 1. Their edge over Curry in 3-point volume through the early part of their careers. Considering just how much track Curry started chewing up in just his 4th season, when he started launching 600+ at a minimum, annually, isn't nearly as significant as Green, and many others who choose to build their cases on theory rather than actual numbers, would have you believe. And 2, it's not just about volume. Take LaMelo Ball, for instance. He would seemingly fit the profile of a green light shooter who started gunning at a high clip as a teenager, but he's only a 36% career 3-point shooter while Curry is near 43%. Which is why Ball's 695 3-pointers through the first 5 years of his career is more than 200 fewer than Curry accumulated despite missing nearly his entire 3rd season through his first 5. Jalen Green has actually made more than 100 more 3-pointers than Curry did through the first 4 years of his career, but that's not nearly enough cushion to keep Green, or any other player of his 35% ilk, viable against a 43% 3-point shooter on Curry volume over the next decade and a half. Not even close. Now, if one of these guys ends up playing 25 years and Curry ends at 20, fine. Maybe they manage to threaten Curry's record. But you could say that about any record. Play long enough, and the numbers add up. But that's not realistic. In terms of players who may actually have a realistic chance at even approaching Curry's number, there are 3 worth mentioning: the Celtics' Jason Tatum, the Lakers' Luka Doncic, and the Timberwolves' Anthony Edwards. Tatum is the least likely, as he is going to end up with somewhere around 300 fewer threes than Curry through the first 7 years of their respective careers, but let's look at it anyway. If Tatum, who has 1,523 threes to date, gets to 250 made threes this season, he's at 227 entering play on Thursday. It will be the first time he has done so in his career. To pass 5,000, he would have to average 250 made threes for the next 14 seasons. That would mean he played 22 seasons, and literally made more threes in each of his last 14 than he has managed to do exactly 1 time through his first 8. Not happening. What about Luka? He's also going to finish his 7th season with fewer threes, somewhere around 1,350, than Curry, 1,593, had through his first 7. Why? Because, again, it's not just about volume. Doncic is a career 34.7% three-point shooter. So now we're back into the business of betting on a guy like Doncic to play about 25 healthy seasons to even sniff Curry's record. Hell, the Mavericks weren't even willing to bet on him making it another 5 years in good health. Cross him off, too. Which brings us to Edwards, who is the one active player who may have a shot at this thing. For starters, he is going to finish his 5th season with around 1,100 threes,